Good morning, greetings, friends, and welcome to The Bright Side, your nutritional program dedicated to the understanding of the vast world of nutrition and nutritional supplementation. I am your host, Pharmacist Ben, nutritional pharmacist from Boulder, Colorado. I use nutritional supplements where other healthcare practitioners use toxic pharmaceutical drugs and sometimes deadly medical procedures if you suspect that there are natural nutritional roads to your health and vitality and well-being, and to addressing your health challenges, whatever they may be, but you don't know where to begin, you have come to the right place. As you listen to The Bright Side every day, you are more and more in control of your body, you are more and more knowledgeable, and you know you can overcome any health challenge. That is why we are here every day on The Bright Side, helping clear up the sometimes confusing world of nutrition and nutritional supplementation. Over the last 32 years of practicing pharmacy, I have seen drug-free recoveries from diabetes, hypertension, obesity, skin diseases like psoriasis, eczema, rosacea, acne, digestive ailments, autoimmune issues of all kinds, recoveries that by the standards of modern medicine can only be called a miracle, but what is in the world of the body, what is in the world of biology, standard operating procedure. Because the human biological system is a healing system, it's a regenerating system. It is designed divinely to heal and renew itself on a moment-to-moment basis, and while some folks may call that a miracle, it really is just the way the body works. If you have questions about health, nutrition, prescription drugs, if you want to wean yourself off your meds and get on a good nutritional supplement program, we are here for you. We want to hear from you. 844-236-6010. If you have questions about the longevity products, longevity business, our Truth Skin Health products, comments or success stories you'd like to share, or if you just want to contribute to the conversation, 844-236-6010 is our number on The Bright Side. You can purchase longevity products at brightsideben.com, pharmacistben.com, or criticalhealthnews.com. You can also sign up to join the Brightside Ben team by clicking on the Join the Team link for a one-time $30 fee. You can be in business for yourself. You can click on the Join the Team link at brightsideben.com, pharmacistben.com, or criticalhealthnews.com, or call 866-735-2470 for more information. Okay, welcome back to The Bright Side, friends. We're talking about, I'm talking about a lot of things here. Picolinic acid, pretty relatively unknown molecule, although most people have heard of picolinate, as in chromium picolinate. You ever wonder what that picolinate means? Chromium picolinate or zinc picolinate. Picolinate refers to the second half or the second component of a two-part molecule, only half of which is used by the body as a essential nutrient. Mighty 90 essential nutrients contain minerals, what are called minerals, I should say. There's 92 of these minerals. They all come off of the periodic table, and they're not really minerals that are nutritional. They're elements. What we call minerals are combinations. A mineral is a combination of things. And the reason we don't understand our nutritional minerals so much is because we don't make a distinction between the elements and the minerals. Excuse me, the body needs the elements. It needs zinc, it needs cobalt, it needs molybdenum, it needs magnesium, it needs calcium, it needs potassium. These are all the minerals, and there's lots of them. There's 92 of them. And I don't want to get all sciencey on you, but it's all on the periodic table. Each little box is needed by the body. Those are the essential elements. How they exist in nature and how they exist at the health food store is what varies. The elements they don't vary. Zinc is zinc is zinc. There ain't no different types of zinc. There's no different types of iron. There's no different types of chromium. There's no different types of selenium. There's just selenium. However, selenium is delivered to the body in different ways. It's delivered to the body in salt forms, which is basically that's basically what you see. Calcium carbonate is a salt form. Magnesium oxide is a salt form. Carbonates, sulfates, gluconates, these tend to be salt forms. Then you got the chelates, which are a special salt form. Those are the way you want to get your minerals. There's the chelates, if you have to go to the health food store, that is. The best way to get your minerals is what Doc Wallach's been talking about and what we talk about on this program all the time, which is plant-derived. Plant-derived minerals are magically transformed minerals. When we get a salt mineral or a chelated mineral, that's okay. There's lots of salt minerals. Calcium carbonate is found in oyster shells, for example. That's the Oscal. When I was in pharmacy school, that was the go-to calcium. Everybody wants calcium. Everybody still wants calcium. The element calcium is really, most people don't have a problem with the element calcium, FYI. We get lots of the element calcium. What we don't get is the calcium in the right form. Calcium in the right form is in cabbage. Calcium in the right form is in watercress. Calcium in the right form is in plants. That's the right form of calcium. Grass is a great source of calcium. We can't really get the calcium from grass, but there are animals that can get the calcium from grass, and then they make milk, and we get the calcium from the milk. That's how cows get the calcium. They eat the grass. Green leafies, that's the best way to get your calcium. That's plant calcium. Plants are just so amazing. They're so amazing for a lot of reasons, but one of the things they do in nutrition is they take these minerals and they magically transform them. And bacteria do the same thing, by the way. Bacteria magically transform minerals that are minerals into active minerals, into forms that we can use. Minerals are made up of the elements, and then they're inaccessible. You can't eat a rock to get your nutrition, but bacteria can eat the rock. And then they squirt out magical minerals. And those magical minerals go into the soil, and those magical minerals go into the plant, and then the plant does its work on the magical minerals and drops them off into the soil when it dies, and this whole cycle occurs on its own. This whole cycle is occurring every moment of every day. That's why soil is the most important living substance on the planet. I always play around when I'm doing my interviews or doing presentations. I ask people, what do you think the most important living thing on the planet is? People say, I don't know, cows, animals, people, cells, the soil. Everything arises from the soil because of the action of the elements. The elements are the ultimate. Everything arises from the elements. That's why I always talk about the minerals. I say the minerals. Everything arises from the minerals, but really it means everything arises from the elements. Think about the elements, though. They're hard to... The body's got to do some kind of clever stuff, clever chemistry, in order to pull those elements out of the salts or out of the chelates or out of the plants. And that clever chemistry occurs in the intestine. Actually occurs in the stomach and the intestine. That's the main areas. And then you can throw in the pancreas and the gallbladder too. Yesterday we were talking about picolinic acid, picolinate. Picolinate is amazing stuff. You only hear about it in terms of chromium picolinate for most people, or zinc picolinate. But it's made in the body. It's made in the liver and the kidneys. It's secreted into the pancreas. It's a critical part of the digestive system. And the action of picolinate on food, the action of pancreas picolinate on food is it's a classic case, a classic example of how the body digests and assimilates. When we understand the nature of deficiencies at this point, at the level right with the stomach and the intestine, and its impact to health and disease, you'll see why we're always talking about the gut. We're always talking about digestion. That area between the stomach and the intestine is the key to everything. Yes, you can throw in mastication. You got to chew your food. There's bacteria and there's some vitamins that are made and secrete and absorbed in the large intestine. Right there is that's everything. The stomach, the intestine. I include the small and the large intestine, the pancreas, and the gallbladder, and then maybe the liver. But really, even if we just keep the liver out of this, because the liver makes the bile and secretes it into the gallbladder, so we'll leave the liver out for now. Really, the whole core of health is at the level of the stomach, the intestine, the pancreas, and the gallbladder. Those four organs right there. You eat a food, it drops, it goes down your gullet, it goes into your stomach, gets chewed up in the stomach, and then drops into the intestine. Right there, right where the food drops from the stomach into the intestine. That's it right there. That's the core of everything. That's the heart of the digestive process, if I can mix my metaphors there. That's the center of the digestive process. That's the key to the digestive process. The intestine, the stomach drops the food into the intestine, it gets hit with a big blast of bile and pancreatic juices right there. Now, certainly there's some absorption that takes place, obviously, further on down the road. In fact, right further on down the road, you run into a problem. And we're going to talk about this. And everybody's heard of this problem these days. But when I first heard about this problem in the early 1990s, nobody knew what the heck I was talking about. I'll tell you what I mean when I come back from our break. You're listening to The Bright Side. We'll be back right after this. All right, we're back on The Bright Side. Thanks for joining us. We're on the air Monday through Friday, 8 to 9 Pacific, and 10 to 11 Central Time, 24/7 on the archive page at brightsideben.com, where you can purchase longevity products, or click on the Join the Team link. If you want to sign up to join the Brightside Ben team for a one-time $30 fee, you can be in business for yourself and help change the world at the most powerful and fundamental level there is. If nutritional supplementation has helped you or your loved ones, you know what I'm talking about. It is the most powerful from a physical perspective. It's the most powerful aspect of good health and wellness, a nutritional supplement program, along with food, along with exercise, along with respiration, and along with rest, nutriate, oxygenate, move and rest, or rest and move. Actually, I should say nutriate, respirate, rest and move, because both phases, oxygenation and blowing off carbon dioxide, are also important, or both important. That's pretty much what you're looking at if you're not healthy and you want to be healthy. That's pretty much what you're looking at. Getting on a supplement program, eating way less, ketogenic ideally, making sure you're moving your body, making sure you're practicing your SDR, slow, deep, rhythmic breathing. It's pretty much that simple, folks. I don't care what prescription drug you're on or what your health challenge is. Even if it's really, really bad, at least you're going to feel better if you practice the fourfold square of health, and that should be the goal. If we're sick, our goal should be to feel better, not to cure. This idea of cure is magical. There's no cure. You reverse. And you reverse by nutriating, respirating, moving, and resting. It really is not complicated. We overthink. The real problem, our real dis-ease is overthinkitis. We overthink, which should be simple and easy to understand, because we're deluded by diagnosis. The delusion of diagnosis. That's what I call it. The delusion of diagnosis. Forget your diagnosis. Unless you want to have a baseball cap that has your diagnosis on it, or a T-shirt that says, I have ALS. Race for the cure. You know, all cancers are the same thing. All cancers represent cellular duress, period. I'm sorry to put all the oncologists out of business, because once we understand that, we're not going to need oncologists. They don't do people any good anyway, but occasionally. Maybe extend the lifespan. Cancer is just as hideous a disease as it was 50 years ago. Although now we can perpetuate people's bodies a little bit longer, and it's an incredibly horrible thing what a cancer patient has to go through. I know a lot of you guys know what I'm talking about. It's beyond unspeakable. And it represents the end stage of cellular duress that has been occurring for decades for some time, for some people. So in any case, we don't want to overthink it, and that's why understanding the core, the digestive system, is so darn important. Because if you understand the digestive system, you can see this is where the outside world becomes the inside world. This is where we become where our bodies are born. Our bodies are born at the level of the digestive system. That is so important. The body we have today is born at the level of the digestive system. Yesterday's lunch becomes today's arm. Literally. Think about that. Yesterday's lunch becomes today's body. How does that happen? Well, it all begins at the level of the intestine. That's why digestion is so important. What's even more foundational and critical to understand is not only is the body born in terms of the good stuff that comes into the bloodstream through the level of the digestive system, but also that poisons come in there too. You got two phases of digestion. You got the chewing phase, and then you got the second phase of digestion, the extraction of nutrients, right at that level of the intestine and the stomach and the pancreas and the gallbladder. That intersection. Just a four-way intersection, you could think of it as. It's not exactly what that is, but it's close enough, and you can figure it. If you imagine a four-way intersection right at like a cross, right at that area, crossroads, literally, you can zoom in, and you can see why if you have any dysfunction there, you're going to have a big problem. And if you have toxicity that's getting in there, you're going to have an extra big problem. So food leaves the stomach, it enters into the intestine, gets hit with a big blast of bile and pancreatic juices. The nutrients get released, they go into the intestine, and they get absorbed. And all of this is complicated chemistry, but you don't need to understand all the complicated chemistry. You just know that it's happening. And what's really important about the complex chemistry is it itself requires nutrients. That process itself requires nutrients. It's where you extract nutrients, and it also needs nutrients. And this is where the downward spiral begins, because the nutrients that you need to process the nutrients come from the food. So if you're not getting quality nutrients, not only are you not going to get nutrients to make your body, but you're not going to get nutrients to do the processing. And then you're going to get less nutrients to make the body, and that means less nutrients to make the juices, the digestive juices, and you get a downward spiral. And if you can break that spiral right there by addressing nutritional supplementation and digestive health, you can end the cycle, the downward cycle of what I call the triangle of disease. That triangle of disease spins round and round and round, and by focusing on that area, you can cut it off. You can cut off the downward spiral and ultimately turn it around, because the more nutrients you're getting, the better your digestion will be, and then the more nutrients you'll be getting, and the better your digestion will be. So instead of going downward, having a downward spiral, you have an upward spiral. So you got to be firing on all cylinders, on all levels. Stomach means enzymes and apple cider vinegar or Pepsin HCl capsules or betaine HCl capsules. We put, at Longevity, we put betaine HCl in with the Ultimate enzymes. A lot of good digestive enzymes will have betaine HCl in them. HCl means hydrochloric acid, and that's what you're getting. You're getting HCl for digestion. You can also get hydrochloric acid drops from the pharmacy. The acid is critical, because if the food is not acidic, look how everything is connected, how one thing leads to another, leads to another, leads to another. So your food has to be acidic in the stomach, because it's the acid that triggers the pancreas and the bile and the gallbladder. If the food's not acidic, when it drops into the intestine, the gallbladder and the pancreas aren't going to do their business. Now you got big problems. And it's all secondary to acid in the digestive system, and most people don't make enough acid. Or at least more people don't make enough acid than make acid, or make too much acid. We think the problem is too much acid. It's really not. It's not enough acid. So acidification, this is why we talk about apple cider vinegar. It's a great way to acidify. Acidification of the food is critical for downstream. It's also critical for vitamin B12, by the way. Vitamin B12 is a very, very fascinating vitamin in the sense, for a lot of reasons. Vitamin B12, really a very underappreciated vitamin. Typically, you're not going to be majorly deficient in vitamin B12, but that's not to say you can't benefit from vitamin B12 shots, and a lot of people do. Vitamin B12 is absorbed in the stomach. It's the only vitamin that's absorbed in the stomach, and in order for it to be absorbed, actually it's not absorbed, it's processed in the stomach. And in order for it to get absorbed, it has to get processed with something called intrinsic factor, IF. And without IF, if you have a messed up stomach, gastritis, or any kind of ulceration of the stomach, you're not going to make this IF. In fact, as we get older, we don't make IF. And vitamin B12 absorption subsequently suffers. IF requires acid, and vitamin B12 absorption requires acid. So acidification of the stomach is really, really important stuff. And as we get older, it happens less and less. And if we take antacids, of course, it happens even lesser and lesser. All right, I'm Pharmacist Ben. You're listening to The Bright Side. 844-236-6010 is our number. We'll be back with more good health information right after this. Okay, we are back on The Bright Side. Thank you for joining us. Got lines open at 844-236-6010, and we will get your calls momentarily. Ran into a couple interesting articles I thought I'd share with you guys today. This is from Medical News Today. New research finds a link between the ratio of two types of estrogen metabolites and the risk of mortality from any cause among women who receive a diagnosis of breast cancer. This is, without getting into too much chemistry, breast cancer is serious business, folks. 41,000 people died of breast cancer last year. 266,000 women developed it last year. The 5-year outlook for a person with breast cancer is almost 90%. That's because of early, for a lot of folks anyway, because of early diagnosis. It depends on where survival rates depend on the stage of the tumor when it's discovered, as well as age and overall health. Nutritional status probably plays a major role. Turns out that it's not estrogen that's the problem, though. It's the metabolites of estrogen, which is what I've been saying for years. This is what gets missed when you hear about the problems with estrogen. It's the metabolites of estrogen. Why is this important? Because we can help the body eliminate estrogen. Estrogen has to be eliminated quickly. It's bad stuff. No, let me take that back. It's not bad stuff. It's good stuff. It's important stuff. It's growth stuff. It helps the body stay fertile. It's important for healing. It's important for growth. It's important for the immune system. It's important for a lot of things. But it is so potent. It's probably the most potent of the steroid hormones. And you can tell looking at the flow chart of how the steroid hormones are made. If you ever look at that, if you ever want to get into some chemistry, look at how the steroid hormones are all made from cholesterol. Another nonsensical, crazy a subject that people are completely misunderstand. Anyway, estrogen is a type of cholesterol, except it's high-powered cholesterol. It's super duper 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 cholesterol. That's what estrogen is. And it makes things grow, and it does lots of things. So it has to be eliminated quickly. When I was making estrogen products in the pharmacy, so we have to compound estrogen capsules of all things and tablets. You have to weigh it to the microgram, the millionth of a gram. And if you were off by a microgram, you could wreak havoc on somebody's body. It's super potent. It has to be eliminated quickly. That's where you run into a problem with estrogen. It's when it's not eliminated and when it's not metabolized and eliminated correctly, and that has to do with the liver and the intestine. Surprise, surprise, more digestive connection. If you're dealing with estrogenic health issues, including breast cancer, God forbid, or prostate cancer in men, or autoimmune disease, all of which are connected to estrogen. Any inflammatory issue, it's not the estrogen that you want to blame, it's the clearance of the estrogen, the toxicity, the liver, the intestine. Probiotics are a must. Intestinal health is a must, especially around fat absorption and fat metabolism. Fat metabolism is so important. How you process fats is a major, major determining factor in how healthy you're going to be in many ways, or at least partially because of how you process fats plays a role in estrogen metabolism. How you process fats can be assessed by your skin. If you have dry skin, the chances are very good, depending on how dry it is, that you're having a problem processing fats. That means your dry skin could be telling you something about the likelihood of you getting a disease later on because of this whole fat issue. Now, of course, in our generally nutritionally depleted culture, fat metabolism is not the only problem when it comes to fats. You could also be missing fats. Do you know your essential fatty acids have an estrogenic-like effect? You can support your estrogen system by taking EFAs. For you ladies on estrogen replacement, by the way, there's no bioidentical hormones. If you're on bioidentical estrogen replacement, Triest or Bias, that's just a scam, a marketing scam. Not only are you increasing your risk of estrogenic health issues if you haven't taken care of your liver and your intestine, and now you're on a Bias or Triest, but you might just be EFA deficient. EFAs, your ultimate EFAs, act like estrogen. Good estrogen, gentle estrogen. They have estrogenic effects without toxicity. If you're on Bias or Triest, you may be able to lower your dose. If you're on an estrogen drug, you may be able to lower your dose by getting on the ultimate EFAs and vitamin E and vitamin A. All the fatty nutrients can help support estrogen activity. Estrogen, the function of estrogen it depends on cell membranes too. You may be dosing yourself with estrogen, and what you really need to be doing is making sure your cell membranes are healthy by eating fats. I'm telling you, there's no time to take a drug. There's no good time to stay on a prescription drug, even if you think you're getting benefits for your hot flashes. And by the way, hot flashes are a sign of a body in duress, not a sign of an estrogen deficiency. They're a sign of duress. All right, let's see here. I'm just going to do one more. This one I like. This is from Medscape Medical News. Social and emotional stress and autoimmune disease. Social stress elevates pro-inflammatory cytokine cytokines and worsens autoimmune symptoms in mice, according to research by Mary W. Meager, PhD at Texas A&M University. This emotional connection is another place where we miss our good health. When you have a feeling or an emotion, or even for that matter, a thought, and thoughts and emotions to me are thoughts are two sides of the same coin. They're linked together. When you have a stressful thought, you make stressful hormones. When you have a loving, kind thought, you make loving, kind hormones. Hormones link our thoughts and our emotions to our bodies. Period. It's solid science, biochemistry. It's not, new age, airy-fairy stuff. My friend who's in nursing school is being told that your thoughts and your emotions connect. The relationship between thoughts and emotions and disease is airy-fairy. Not surprised. She's in nursing school. She's going to learn to be a representative of the medical model. Of course, if you understand even a little bit of science, you know that every time you think a thought, you secrete cortisol, or you secrete dopamine, or you secrete serotonin, or you secrete all kinds of hormones. In this case, cytokines. Cytokines are a hormone technically a hormone is fatty. These are watery hormones, cytokines. You may have heard of cytokines, and you probably will start hearing about cytokines. They're nothing more than watery hormones. And social stress turns out, and they're linked to inflammation, and they come from essential fatty acids, by the way, EFAs, or at least they're partially derived from EFAs. In any case, social stress, it elevates pro-inflammatory cytokines and worsens autoimmune disease. When I read that we have a lot of control over our immune system and a lot of control over inflammation. All right, 844-236-6010 is our number. Let's hit the phones. Go to Kendrick in Minnesota, who's been holding on a while. What's going on, Kendrick? Good morning.
Good morning.
How you doing, buddy?
Very well. How are you?
I'm doing good. Thank you for asking. How can I help you?
Well, a while back, I had cataract surgery.
Okay.
I had cataracts on both eyes.
Okay.
Long story short, the result of the cataract surgery, right now, I'm legally blind.
As a result of the surgery?
Well, originally...
Hey, we got to... Hang on, Kendrick. We got to go to a commercial. Don't go away. I want to finish up when we come back. I'm Pharmacist Ben. We'll be back right after this. We're back on the bright side, 844-236-6010, and we're talking to Kendrick in Minnesota about cataracts. So you have tell me what's going on here. You had a cataract surgery, successful, correct?
Well, I had
you said, okay, it left you blind. I'm sorry, I apologize. Yeah, so it said that's a secondary cataract you have, right?
Well, the cataract surgeon couldn't see my retina because of the cataract. He removed the cataract. Then he found that my retina was partially detached. So he sent me to a retina specialist. The retina specialist ended up doing a little laser work, and then he couldn't correct the situation. So he inserted silicone oil bubbles in both of my eyes to keep my retinas attached. So as a result of these silicone oil bubbles being inserted in my eyes, my vision is obstructed. And so I'm legally blind right now.
Nothing, it's not correctable?
Well, they got to the point where they said that they didn't want to remove the silicone oil bubbles. They didn't tell me that until I was dealing with them for almost a year.
Now when you say legally blind... I'm sorry, Kendrick. Like glasses don't work or anything like that? You can't do anything about it?
No.
You just can't see, period.
I mean, I can see, but my vision is obstructed. My vision is here, but it's being obstructed.
I get that. But in essence, you can't really see. Like you can't see distance, or can you watch TV and that kind of thing?
Right. I can't watch TV. I can't read a book.
Okay, I mean, that's an awful thing, an awful thing. I know what to tell you. I mean, what I would be, I can tell you how to deal with inflammation, which is probably secondary, and that may help you. And you should probably be doing everything you can do to stay healthy otherwise, including using nutrients. I mean, you got to here's how you can't focus on the eye itself. You got to focus on the whole body. How old are you, sir?
68.
And are you on any medication?
Yes, I'm on medication to control my diabetes and high blood pressure.
Listen, you got a lot of stuff going on, and I'm not telling you not to take your drugs, but your drugs are making it worse. I'm not telling you not to take the drugs because you got the diabetes, which caused the problem in the first place. So basically, you're paying the price of many, many years of bodily deterioration. And so what I'd be doing right away, first and foremost, is working on making sure you're loaded with nutrients. Do you have can you work with a nutritionist over there in Minnesota?
Can I do what?
You need to have somebody who can put you on an entire program. I mean,
sure.
Like a major one right away. You got to get off of you got to go keto as soon as possible. You got to eat as little as possible. There's so many things going on here, Kendrick, and this is so important and so serious. Why don't you do this, buddy? Send me an email, ben at ksco.com. Put your phone number there. I hesitate just to tell you get on one thing or another because you got so many things going on there, and this is so important. It just feels
okay.
You understand what I'm saying? So I don't want to just tell you get on the Healthy Start Pack.
This is the question I wanted to ask you. But this is the question I wanted to ask you.
Yeah.
So they're saying that my vision is being obstructed because of the scarring that's in my eyes. When I asked them what supplements or whatever I could take to reduce the scarring in my eyes, neither one of my surgeons could give me an answer to that.
Because it's not just one. But here's the thing. It's your body, the scarring in your eye is following, and I'm not being harsh or mean here. I just got to lay it and just got to tell it like it is. Your body is messed up, and you're paying the price for that. So the scarring is and the poor prognosis and the cataracts in the first place are all a function of a screwed up biochemistry. And I'm only saying it that way because I want you to get the impact of it. You follow me? So your biochemistry is messed up, Kendrick. And for you to say, what supplements do I take for the scarring? Well, yeah, taurine, zinc, vitamin C in high doses, essential fatty acids. There's so many things. But because your biochemistry is screwed up, if you don't fix up your biochemistry, the supplements are only going to be like a drop in the bucket. You follow me? Sure. So you got to be willing to change everything, bro. Everything, because your body's...
I am willing.
Okay, good.
I am willing.
Send an email.
I need your email address again. I need your email address again.
Yeah, Ben, my name, Ben, at ksco.com.
ksco.com.
Yeah, call me. Put your phone number there, and I'll call you back. I wish I could... I mean, it's just... This is too serious. All right, I want to walk you through a bunch of stuff. It's going to involve your digestive system. It's going to involve your blood sugar system. It's going to involve nutritional supplementation. It's just a bunch of things. It's going to take like 15, 20 minutes to do it right. All right?
Okay, well, I'm going to have to get somebody to, help me send this email.
I understand, but I want to help you out. I want to help you out.
KSCO. Ben at KSCO. I got it. Okay,
thank you, Kendrick. Take care, brother.
Yep.
Be good. Mm-hmm. God bless you. Yeah, that's too serious just to do it in a couple of minutes. Poor guy. That's heartbreaking. All right, Barry in New Orleans. Good morning. What's up, my friend?
Yes, good morning. I want to ask you first, is any relationship between lack of cholesterol and Alzheimer's? And my second question, I was absolutely just blown away when you showed how the table in chemistry, really one needs to have a knowledge of chemistry to kind of really understand nutrition. Can you also explain that once again? How that?
So much. Basically, I think you're talking about the periodic table. And all those elements, it's funny you should say that. I was talking to my friend, Dr. Drew. I don't know if he's listening out there. Hey, Dr. Drew, if you are. He said to me, you better get off that periodic table. It's starting to I think it's overwhelming people. So I got to lay off the periodic table a little bit. But since you brought it up, that's when we talk about minerals, what we're really talking about is the periodic table. The elements on the periodic table. There's 92 little boxes that are important. If you look at the boxes, each one of those boxes represents a element that has a different electronic frequency. Remember your crystal radios when you were a kid? Did you have a crystal radio when you were a kid, or you know what I'm talking about, Barry?
No, I never had one.
All right. Well, crystal radio was this little radio you built, had a crystal in the middle, and by turning the crystal, you got different radio stations because each position of the crystal represented a different frequency. Well, that's how the elements are. Each element represents a different radio station on the crystal, and it's conducting energy at a different frequency in the body, and they're all important, every one of them, either directly, because they're in the body directly, because they function in chemistry directly, or through plants. Plants use the minerals to make the vitamins and the proteins, and the carbohydrates and the fats, for that matter. So the periodic table is you don't have to understand the periodic table if you're a regular layperson, but if you're a healthcare professional or you're counseling people in nutrition and talking about minerals and talking about the importance of minerals, you better understand a little bit of the periodic table. It's not really fair to talk about the importance of minerals and elements without understanding a little bit of it, in my humble opinion, especially when it comes to those confusing ones right in the middle, copper and zinc and cobalt, iron, manganese, those what else here? Molybdenum. Those are the ones that are super duper tricky and hard for people to understand. All right, and then cholesterol in the brain. Cholesterol is very, very important stuff in the body. And worrying about cholesterol, high or low, is not, or I should say high cholesterol, is not really, it's not a big concern when it comes to health. However, the reason why your body is making the cholesterol, that's something to consider. And the main reason why the body makes excess cholesterol is because of sugar. Elevated cholesterol, elevated blood sugar are two peas in a pod. And when we blame cholesterol, what we should be blaming is the blood sugar. And cholesterol is incredibly important stuff. As far as this relationship to cholesterol, it's true that low levels of cholesterol, which should be made in the liver, by the way, low levels of cholesterol can affect the brain. It can be associated with certain dementias. I would say, however, that if you have dementia, it's less an issue of cholesterol and more of an issue of blood sugar, as well as other poor health issues, poor health status, I guess we'll say. And if you do have dementia, or you know somebody who has dementia or Alzheimer's, which is a type of dementia, get them on a supplement program. It is mind-blowing what the Beyond Tangy Tangerine will do to somebody who has memory problems or delusional issues or whatever, body movement issues, because the brain is using so much nutrition. When you're deficient, the brain feels it big time, and most of us are very, very deficient. Just get your nursing home patients or your mom or dad or grandma or grandpa in a nursing home, get them on the BTT. Watch what happens. I am not kidding you. Thanks so much for your call, Barry. Appreciate it, and apologize if I left you on hold. That's it for now. We're out of time on the bright side. Thanks for listening, friends. I'm Pharmacist Ben. Have yourselves a wonderful, beautiful, awesome, spectacular day. We'll talk to y'all later. Bye for now.